All right. Call to order the Whatcom Transportation Authority Board of Directors meeting Thursday, July 3rd, 2025. Can we start with roll call, please?
Yes, Donovan. Hawkinson.
Here.
Fortice.
Here.
Lautenbach.
Here.
Holyquist.
Here.
Stewart.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
Darwin.
Present.
And we have board members Lund and Sadoo absent.
Actually, here.
No, I'm here. Sorry about that. Thank you. Lund is present. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Item C, citizens communications. Each speaker is allowed a maximum of 3 minutes. Is there anyone online that would like to unmute and address the board? Please do so now. And is there anyone in person?
No,
Okay, and did we receive anything by email?
we have not, no.
Okay, thank you very much. Next is an executive session that I don't have the script for, if someone there is willing to read it.
Vice Chair. Jen is on. Jen is Vice Chair. Yes, yeah, Jen is on too. Jen is on too, so.
I've messed it all up this morning.
Skip will read it. Finished too. Yeah. I waited till he put donut in his mouth, so that's why I was a terrible waiter. Are you ready?
Yep, and it'll be 25 minutes.
The board will now meet in executive session to discuss the following two topics. An update on the potential acquisition of real estate as allowed by RCW 4230-110, and an update on potential litigation of legal risks as allowed by RCW 4230-110, Section 1. The board will be in executive session for approximately 25 minutes until 8:30 a.m.
The board chair would like to extend the executive session by 10 minutes. So that will put us back to our main session at 8:41. Thank you. The board chair would like to announce another extension of 5 minutes to the executive session, which puts us back in open session at 8:46.
All right, we're back. Executive session ended at 8:48 and back to regular session. Next on the agenda is item E, the consent agenda.
I'll move approval.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second for consent agenda. Any questions or comments? All in favor of passing the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously. Item F, board reports, WTA specific legislative recap.
Yeah, we have two items that we'll cover quickly that came out of the legislative session that apply directly to WTA. One is an optional change to the governance structure, and the other is in regards to the World Cup next year. So I'll turn over to Breen and talk about the governance.
Sure. Yeah, I just want to provide a tiny bit more information than we had time for last time. As Liz said, there is an option for the board to add 2 members to this body. It's not a requirement, but it's a possibility. And the purpose of this change was to allow for more direct input by people who ride the bus into our board decision making. So that being the case, if you chose to explore this as a possibility, there are characteristics that these 2 new board members would have to have. One of them would have to be someone who relies primarily on transit for their transportation. And the other person would have to be someone who works for a community-based organization who also at least sometimes uses public transportation. And this is not something you need to decide or even talk about today in the short time that we have, but if it is something that the board wants to explore, we'd have to put that on the agenda, and January of next year would be the earliest that such a change could be.
We probably want to wait until the new board members in January are appointed and then pick it up in February or March. Mark and Vicky will need to do some work on bylaws and those kinds of things, because there are things we would need to make sure, as these are voting members, we need to make sure that they go through Open Public Meetings Act training, that they have ethics training, public records training. We'd have to talk about, do we give them WTA email, because they, as opposed to using their own Gmail account, because they're not elected officials anywhere. So there's a number of things we need to work through to amend the bylaws on those things, but those are implementation things. So we will look at those and what we need to do on those, and then look at if it is optional, but we can talk about early next year, bringing it back, but wanted to put it on your horizon. Questions?
Does the state law specify their term or details like that?
No.
Okay.
The state law provides very little guidance.
Or maximal flexibility.
Those are all things that would be board bylaws and how the person's, or how the people are selected. You know, if they don't show up for a certain number of meetings, are they removed, all those kinds of things. Looks like Mr. Donovan?
Yeah, I will be gone in January, but I hope the board considers having folks. But I won't be here to have anything to do with it.
Thank you. The other one that came out of legislation is financial support for World Cup next year. The legislature appropriated $9 million towards transit and FIFA. Of that $9 million, 40% goes to King County Metro, 40% goes to the Puget Sound Regional Council transit agencies. So essentially Community Transit, King, Pierce, Kitsap, and Everett, and Sound Transit. And then the remaining 20%, or about 1.8 million, gets divided among the fan zone cities based on a formula that WashDOT is yet to create. It has to be for quote unquote enhanced services for that. So we're starting to look at, and we would have to have a list of what those enhanced services look like, or a spending plan, I think is how they term it, by December 1st on that. So we're starting to have those conversations. We view our service demand would probably look like is a north-south, getting people up to the border. There's 7 games in Vancouver, 6 in Seattle. And during those off days when people aren't playing in those games, people may be here and wanting to get to the fan zone. So we may have, the watch parties. We may be north-south demand to get people to the border to get up or down I-5, and then east-west, if you will, to get people to the fan zones on those. So for City of Bellingham and County too, will be reaching out to try to see what predicted demand is. Got an inquiry into WashDOT about what is the normal I-5 traffic and what do they expect that to be. There's an expectation there'll be 750,000 people coming in the Puget Sound area. How far that extends, I don't know, and how it impacts us. And then about 900,000 up in Vancouver. So that, just wanted to make you aware of that. We'll be planning on that. It'll be part of our budget for 26, and try to figure out how to implement that. But wanted to tee that up for you as well, so you knew that was out there.
How many other fan zone cities are there?
Is that 8? 8 others.
Yeah, and the way the legislation is written is that it's non-Puget Sound or so there's a doubt about whether Bremerton, Kitsap, or Bremerton and Everett and Tacoma are dividing that up or not. Because
Well, Everett, you already said 40% goes to,
Puget Sound region.
Puget Sound region, yeah, which would include those.
yeah.
So WashDOT hasn't issued guidance, but the goal is that they would not double count, but which one they go into. I imagine they'll probably go into the Puget Sound Regional Council because they can get more money. But
Right. I just, yeah, how many other cities are vying for that 1.8 million?
yes, 6 to 8, I think is the number. I think is there 8 fan zone cities or 9? I can't remember. 8 or 9 fan zone cities, including like Yakima, Spokane, Vancouver.
It's not Vernon, was it? It's not Vernon?
No.
Well, there's also practice.
So anyway, there'll be more to follow on that. Mayor Lund will be, in fact, I'm talking to Tara here shortly about FIFA. So we're involving staff and we'll try to figure out what the demand is. We're in support of what those demands and desires are. So we'll try to figure those out.
The allocation to the other fan zone cities are based on, I thought it was proportional to ridership. So it seemed like with our strong ridership might be well positioned. And I'm counting 6, but I feel like I could be off on the other fan zone cities.
Yeah, if those other ones are not put into the Puget or are included in the Puget Sound region, I think it's 6.
9 total, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's Kitsap, Tacoma, and Everett that would not be included in that. They'd be included in the Puget Sound region distribution. Okay. All right, just any questions on those things? All right. Thank you very much for the discussion and guidance, and we'll talk more.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good long holiday weekend.
Thank you. Item G, other business? Announcements?
Happy 4th.
We are adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
I want to go to wherever Todd is in Tahoe.
Good.